In this video, I'm gonna challenge myself into doing an insanely difficult aim training course for 30 days in a row. I hired a professional aim coach and a very respectful member of the aim training community under the nickname of Tragedy. We scheduled 2 sessions in the end of each week, so we're gonna have 8 sessions in total. During each session, Tragedy is gonna be watching me play, creating personal playlists with exercises for me, and telling me if I'm progressing or not. A quick reminder, to not miss out my videos, please subscribe and press the bell icon since we're trying to beat the shadow ban on this channel. Without further ado, let's begin. As a Counter-Strike player with over 16,000 hours, I was always a big fan of aim training, but most of the CS players never take their practice outside of deathmatch or some community maps. Some people don't believe in aim practice at all. For example, my friend Ren once said that aim practice doesn't work and the only way to improve mechanically is by playing the game a lot. Now, I personally have a completely different opinion. If we take Counter-Strike as a sport and compare it to any other sport, it consists of a variety of different aspects. As a person who played professional basketball, I have never seen a single good player who just got really good by only playing the 5 vs 5 games. They worked on their shooting, dribbling and passing in individual practices and then combined their individual skills with the experience from the 5 vs 5 matches. I quit basketball almost 4 years ago, but now I have a new hobby, motorcycle track racing, and the same principle applies here. People who only race at track will not get as good as people who practice riding around cones and then combine it with racing experience. I believe that CS has the same ideology. What if your hand or aim is shaky? What if you have issues with specific parts of your aim and CS just doesn't give you any alternatives to fix them? For example, my tracking skills are good but my flicks are bad, or complete opposite. And this is where aim trainers come in handy. Just like bodybuilders focus on isolating and training specific muscle groups, aim trainers can do the exact same and offer you a variety of exercises to focus on exactly what you need to work on. But the main issue is that doing that without a coach might be not as effective, just like going to the gym for the first time without a person with experience who can help you with technique and a right workout plan. So I'll try to share my experience and wisdom that I gained from my months of training with a coach, and also I will link you all of my playlists that Tragedy created for me so you can improve just like I did. And of course I wanna share with you my entire path, thoughts on the way, and tell you how much that affected my performance as a CS player. When I started my practice, my KD in 22,000 Premier rating was around 1.2 and I was averaging around 18 kills per game. My biggest aim problems always were smooth tracking and micro-adjusting, especially on moving targets. In CS2, moving and shooting became even more overpowered, so I think that training micro-tracking would be a big improvement for me. Now let's see how our first session went.
Like you'll see, as I track it, I'm almost moving.
Wait, I cannot see for some reason. Your screen is for some... Wait, am I looking at my own screen? Oh, Jesus Christ, I was looking at my... Sorry. Tragedy tested my ability to micro-adjust, flick, and challenged my overall mouse control.
So it's gonna be that same thing of trying to restrict your initial target acquisition speed so you can process where you are, and trying to intercept the target in its path rather than trying to land directly on it. But again, you want to land as close to the leading edge as possible with that initial movement, so you're not wasting efficiency, you're just trying not to get so directly on top of it that it moves out of your crosshair by the time you've processed where you are and are prepared to click.
Dear Lord. CS players have problem with
Vertical aim?
Yeah, vertical aim, yeah. It became very obvious that as a CS player, I have big problems with vertical aiming since in my main game, the majority of aiming happens horizontally and only some maps like Vertigo and Train implement vertical aspects to them. Tragedy explained to me a lot of things that I never thought of, such as tension management, different techniques for better mouse control, and some flicking mechanics.
Tries to force you to be comfortable with the smaller, calmer movements after an actual flick. It's a very similar idea to how static clicking is helpful, except in a more dynamic. And I want to stress something very much, is I'm never flicking as quickly as I can. I'm always slowing down my flick intentionally to try to stop as smoothly as I can, because if you try to flick too fast, it's going to introduce a ton of egregious tension and you're not going to be able to smoothly track the target at all.
Most of the exercises felt incredibly uncomfortable. My aim felt super shaky, especially when I had to micro-track small targets.
Obviously, that is a very large oversimplification of exactly what's happening, but in general, you have like 3 parts of your arm, right? You've got your forearm, you got your wrist, and you got your fingers. Your fingers have the smallest range of motion, which tends to be mostly vertical like this with a little bit of side-to-side movement. Your wrist has the second smallest range of motion with just this sort of sweeping motion, and then your forearm obviously has the greatest because it, pivots off of your elbow and you can just swing it however far you want. So you kind of have to build this foundation where you understand every single range of motion is related to a part of your arm, and each part of your arm is better in those specific range of motions. So it's not necessarily that you want to exclusively use like your arm for wide range of motion. You want to use combinations of every part of your arm all the time, but you have to know which part of your arm should be the primary driver of the motion that you're making, right?
He also made me 2 playlists with exercises that would help me to improve during my first week of training. One of the playlists was to improve overall mouse control, and the other one was specifically dedicated for micros. One interesting topic that is going to be touched during this video is static aiming.
It's that simple.
Oh, then don't move.
They don't move. This is
oh yes,
static.
Aimbots 101. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much every CS player knows a map called Aimbots. It's one of the most essential and iconic training maps, and I know so many people who are really good at flicking fast and shooting stationary targets on this map. I mean, back in the days, I was making videos about killing 5,000 bots per day for 5 days, or killing 50,000 bots in a row to see how that would affect my aim. But what I always noticed is that even if you're really good at static, for some reason that skill barely transfers into actual games. And Tragedy also mentioned that static only improves your overall mouse control and flicking technique, but in the majority of tactical FPS, mechanics like tracking and micro-adjusting are way more useful. And after our sessions, I began my first week of practice. Now there are 2 really important things that both you and me have to understand. First of all is that those playlists are meant to be difficult and not used as warm-ups before games. They are complete workout plans that will make you feel tired and challenged, so after them it's essential to take a break. Second of all, you can't expect to just magically improve in CS by completing those playlists even if you become really good at them. You still need to practice in the game that you want to improve in.
First of all, you can play it as much as you want. Don't overdo it. You definitely shouldn't play more than like 2 hours of HaiX a day. That's the absolute limit. Any more than that and you're going to injure yourself if you're not playing properly. When I was grinding playlists, I was trying to play it at least twice a day. What I would do is if you're gonna like play a session of CS, play the playlist when you're done. Don't play it to warm up. It's usually better for you to play DM or whatever to warm up. It's gonna feel more natural. And then once you're done, you can take being warmed up into HaiX to perform the best you can and then implement the sort of techniques that you've been thinking of into your actual playlist. I would just say play this once when you get on your computer and then once when you're getting off.
Okay, so yeah, like morning and evening, not before sessions. Yeah,
exactly. And then again, if you want to play it more, feel free. It's not going to hurt you, and just don't hurt yourself.
So I decided to schedule my workout plan like this. After waking up, I will be doing my micros playlist first, because this one just feels the most difficult. Then I'm gonna be taking a break to do some IRL stuff or work on my videos. After that, I'm gonna start the stream, go into CS, play 15 to 20 minutes of deathmatch, and then jump into my premiere games. After ending my games, I'm gonna finish my day with a general playlist, and that's gonna be my plan for week 1. The entire idea here is to stay as consistent as possible, not to skip any days no matter what, and keep tracking my progress. After a few days of training and sticking to the schedule, I've noticed a very interesting detail. Aim trainers are actually quite addictive. When there is no scoreboard, no teammates or opponents, the only thing you care about is how to constantly compete with yourself. And as a really competitive person, I really enjoy the feeling of getting better. Even though Tragedy told me that my overall goal right now is following the right technique and not to chase high scores, I still felt really satisfied once I was breaking my personal records.
I want you to just focus really hard on removing as much tension from your forearm as possible. Even if it feels uncomfortable and you're not getting as good of a score, I just want you to be as smooth as you can be.
Okay. Another thing that I had to understand is that my aim in terms of CS was on pretty above average level. I mean, not to brag or anything, I just wanted to get this straight. I was 4000 elo in CSGO and around 3000 elo in CS2, but I haven't played FACEIT for over a year since I lost my interest in sweaty CS. My highest rank in Premiere was around 28,000, and in terms of online achievements in this game, I pretty much got everywhere I wanted. Everything above that would mean going near pro level, which I completely don't have the interest in. So my mechanical skill is not as good as pro players, of course, but I can't just expect it to increase to Donk's level just because I started playing HaiX. since there is so much more to aim than just good mouse control. Competing against the best players in the game, insane experience, incredible movement, that's something that I won't personally experience since I'm not trying to be a pro. But if, for example, a silver starts doing KovaaK's and training in CS at the same time, he will improve so much faster since he will build a very solid base of mouse control which the majority of people on his rank simply won't have. And in terms of first week improvements, I definitely noticed that my aim became calmer and more precise. I developed more control, lowered the tension in my arm, and also managed to implement more finger usage for micro movements. During our third and fourth session, Tragedy told me that he's noticing that I gain more control in my micros, but I still lack precision in terms of micro adjustments, and also my flicking technique is not correct.
First of all, obviously it looks a lot better than when you first started playing, but it also looks like you're prioritizing precision over smoothness. So do you remember how when we were doing some static flicking stuff, especially the initial flicks, we were talking about softening your initial landings to try to like accelerate into the target? In general, again, it's the same sort of technique stuff that we've been trying to talk about, but I want you to try to approach really all of these sorts of flicking motions as calmer accelerations. And in-game, of course, there are times when you're going to be flicking super fast and you're going to be landing directly on people. That's true, and that's something that we are going to practice. But for now, I want you to focus a lot on tension management because it's such an important skill for like the longevity of your ability to aim train or even just play for long hours without injury and while improving all of your skill sets.
We also discussed some important issues, and then he updated my playlists for week 2.
Just make sure that you're focusing on actively micro-correcting. Slow down the process in clicking. Don't necessarily slow down your initial flicks, unless if you get tired, of course, that's understandable, but try your best not to slow them down. Focus on the micro-corrections and focus on that sort of smooth acceleration after you hit that initial flick.
Yeah.
Start flicking towards it and then you slow down as you approach it. And if you want any good examples, you've always got Zionlo and a Renzi Boy VODs to look at.
Now, if you paid attention, you can see that I'm playing KovaaK's at 16:9 resolution while I play CS in 4:3. I was really concerned about the fact that even though I have the same sensitivity in KovaaK's as I have in CS, it would feel different since stretched resolutions usually increase the sense, so I asked Tragedy if I should put KovaaK's to 4:3, and he said that if I feel like doing it, I could. After switching my resolution, most of the exercises started feeling way more natural, and I instantly started beating my records from previous attempts on Full HD. Now, what about improvements in CS? Well, as I have said, when it comes to playing deathmatch, I started feeling way more mouse control and precision in my aim, but in real games I only spotted slight differences of micro adjusting, especially that applies to pistols.
Nice. Certified Sigma moment, guys.
But to be completely honest with you, I was training every single day, but I wasn't playing Premiere every day, since I had to work on some of very important videos. I know that some of you probably think that being a YouTuber is simply playing the game and sponsors just throw millions at you, but in reality I'm usually sitting in front of my PC, writing scripts, doing voiceovers and recording footages every single day for 7 to 10 hours, especially after I got banned on Twitch 8 months ago and I have way more free time during the day. After I make the video, I usually take a few days to rest, and during those rest days I have way more time to stream and play.
And make sure to follow the channel, guys.
During week 2 I still was pretty busy with making videos, but I really wanted to play more, so I asked some of my friends to play Premiere with me during late nights after I was done with my work. Overall, again, I can't say that I've noticed some huge improvements except one little detail: my AWP flicks. Now, as a dedicated rifler, I never train or pick up an AWP in my games, but since I had a lot of flicking exercises in my playlist, my AWPing skills improved so much without even me wanting that. A good example of that would be this game where me and Neok played together recently, and we got a game against a sweaty 5 stack of level 10s, and I was not having a good game in terms of aim, but when I picked up an AWP, as you can see, I managed to get 11 kills with 70% accuracy. Unfortunately, the demo of this game already expired, but just trust me, I was doing some very solid flicks. In terms of aiming, I also felt like I don't have to rely on my spray that much anymore, and I was trying to focus on aiming on the head, then shooting, and only if the shot didn't land, then start spraying as a backup option. Unlike before, when I tried aiming at enemy player model as fast as possible and then fully relied on my spray. Overall, my gameplay just started feeling way smoother and without any unnecessary movement, but again, nothing insane to mention specifically. During our session number 6 and 7, Tragedy really wanted to see how I play deathmatch and check out my aiming style and spot any potential mistakes, and this is how it went.
There he is again.
So something that I will say as far as how to practice the kinds of things that we've been talking about is I want you to, obviously spraying is a really important mechanic and I don't want you to stop spraying because it's something you have to practice. But what I do want to see is I want you to just take more time on your initial shot. If you end up spraying after, that's fine. But I want you to give yourself like a quarter of a second longer to actually micro after you make your first movement towards a target.
I need to save this guy's Steam profile. Get him banned from the server. Okay.
That would have been crazy.
Go out, motherfucker. I know you're there. Like this?
Nice. Yeah.
Hello.
That was also very nice. I appreciate how much time you took for that. And that was exactly what I wanted to see too.
Ah! Okay.
He spotted some issues and created a playlist specifically for my in-game problems, and I started including those exercises to my daily routine.
I'm also going to put a different pressure scenario in the playlist because I think a lot of the time is that you end up rushing yourself on some of the initial flicks, and it's going to be a micro pressure scenario, so it's going to be a lot of smaller movements, but you still have to approach them quickly and smoothly, just like the flick the pressure scenario. That was clean.
Oh, fuck off. Almost said the inappropriate word.
When it comes to micros, I spotted even bigger improvement in terms of how calm and precise my aim became. In case you forgot, here is the footage of me doing the same exercises in the beginning of our journey during week 1 and week 3. Tragedy added more difficult exercises to my week 3 playlist, and I decided to work really hard this week since I was finally finished with recording multiple important videos and had more time to stream and play. During this week, I noticed way more mechanical improvements. Let me play some clips for you as an example.
A robot team.
As you can clearly see, I became very precise in flicking and aiming for headshots, and also there is mostly tapping and bursting since spray became like a second option for me. At the same time, I also managed to rank up to 22,000 premier rating with almost 70% win rate, and when Train got released, I got a very high rank in my first 2 matches, winning against a 5 stack of 3000 elos in my first game.
Oi. Guys, I suspect. Oi, I'm reloading. It's okay, guys. It's okay, I don't usually it's okay. I don't use the sniper rifle. I suspect. It's okay, guys.
During this week, I also broke a few personal records in tracking and flicking, which, as I've said before, brings a big satisfaction feeling. I don't know how to explain this, but aim trainers are always good for you. If you don't break your record, then you're just mechanically improving and practicing, which is good. If you break your record, it means that you become faster and more precise, which is even better. There is no losing no matter what, and that's what I personally love about aim trainers.
Okay. Yay.
Anyways, week 3 is finished, and let's see what Tragedy has for me in our last 2 sessions.
I think that was obviously a lot better. I do think that ended up introducing a lot more tension than I wanted it to, but I think that's just kind of a product of not really being used to trying to implement that faster flick. Don't necessarily need to go that fast on the initial movement because I really want you to focus on releasing that tension at the end so that you're not really shaking like that towards the end. But in general, I would like you to push your speed on that and improve your ability to, implement tension without letting it overshadow everything else. First of all, your initial movements, like those smaller movements when the target is slowed down and you have to get back into it, looks a lot nice. So you looked a lot smoother. And in general, I think that's just by far the best way to approach this kind of stuff. Because it's just like we talked about. If you're always super high tension on your micros, especially in game, it's really hard to be consistent with those movements. And this is all just really high, APM as far as micros go.
Yeah, I think I've managed to build a lot of way better stamina. I don't get tired even after doing them 7 times in a row, but only these ones. In statics and shit, I still get tension. So especially on the long flicks, as I told you yesterday. The tension is way too high, so I'm slowing down a little bit. Holy fuck!
No worries.
Yay.
Yeah, so your initial flick technique has just improved like tenfold, so you're just a lot better at this scenario. Let's do it one more time. I want you to obviously continue to try to implement that very nice flick technique, but when you see targets that are especially close together, I want you to gamble a little bit in between them. And I don't want you to just fully just like randomly click, but I want you to just
trust myself.
Trust yourself. Skip out on that correction, or not that correction, but skip out on the confirmation a little bit.
Okay.
Those are short flicks. You got that. How hard could it be? Like those targets right there, you got that. Exactly.
Oh, well, I think I'm gambling way too much. Oh, Lord. Okay, wait. Phew.
Hold on. Let's gamble on the really close together targets.
Yeah.
Not every target. Like those two. Yeah, that's what I like to see.
I'm gambling. All on red. All on red. I started gambling way too much, I think. Oh.
Yeah, I think we walked into the casino with 100 and walked out negative 10K.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So-
I got excited way too much.
fine.
So, we have created a complete workout routine for both micro and general mouse control. Now I had to train for 1 more week before making final conclusions about my journey, and originally I wanted to train only for 1 month, but a chain of random events happened. First of all, I recorded our last 2 sessions in October, and right now it's the end of January, so I've been practicing for almost 90 days. But why did that happen? Simply because I decided to give this training a longer run, because even though I was training, I still did not have time to play CS as much as I wanted because I had lots of videos to make. So I continued practicing almost every day and also gathered a 5 stack to grind to 30,000 Premier rating together. At the same time, I was watching a few Donk and Monosy interviews and I decided to completely change my aim routine. In Donk's interview, he said that he completely ignores deathmatch and prefers to just play a lot of pucks daily to stay in shape, but when he feels like training, he only trains on pistol deathmatch. Why? Because on pistol deathmatch you rely more on your ability to click heads and also on your micro tracking skills. When you're playing regular deathmatch with rifle, you rely a lot on your spray, and if you miss the first 2 free bullets and didn't hit the enemy in the head, you mostly try to recover your inaccuracy with the spray. While with a pistol, this is not an option. So my current training routine changed entirely. In the beginning of the day, I play my micro HaiX playlist that Tragedy made for me. After that, I take a break, and that's usually when I eat, record videos, write scripts and do voiceovers. After that, it's time to play CS, but before playing, I go on pistol deathmatch and make around 100 kills there. Then I play 3 to 5 games of Premier with my friends and I finish my day with a general playlist. And now let's talk about the most interesting part. How much did I actually improve during my time of training? When I started my practice, my KD in 22,000 Premier rating was around 1.2 and I was averaging around 18 kills per game and around 50% headshot ratio. Currently, I have almost 28,000 rating, 23 average kills and around 65% headshots, which is not some insane statistics since I only play Premier and not Faceit, but my current goal is to hit 30,000 Premier rating, and in the majority of my matches I end up on top of the leaderboard. Believe it or not, but because of the amount of cheaters in Premier, the games there are often way harder than when I played 3000 elo Faceit pugs. My aim became way smoother, way more instant, and my overall mouse control went on a complete different level, especially my tracking skills. So what's next? Well, my current goal is to continue training and hit 30,000 Premier rating, and after that just keeping myself in decent shape. I don't have any interests in going pro, achieving high elo on Faceit and playing any sweaty, boring competitive CS. I just want to play good and make interesting content for you guys. And I really hope that this video will at least make you consider trying aim trainers and implementing them into your training process. I also hope that this 90 days journey was interesting for you to watch. My entire training routine with all of the HaiX playlists will be in my Discord server. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. God bless you. I'm out.